all the most successful Indian women I've met are divorced.
Right.
I'm going in my head, I'm going through mentally through my friends who are really successful, got their own businesses, all divorced. I've spent the last 10 years being someone else's wife and being somebody's mother. And I've sort of forgotten who I am and what I want. Well, yeah, I mean, I can try and help you, but you have to pay me a commission and everything. Don't you want to do it directly? Apparently my brother on the phone just went, India, I just can't cope with the corruption. But look back on our first few shoots and just think, God, how did we get away with that? No, I mean, we did the most ridiculously dumb things. This particular shoot that we did, and they brought 4 models over from Europe. Okay. And then we got like 10, 15 people from here. But suddenly you can see cool India, young India, fun India.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't want to quote Slumdog Millionaire because, again, it's so overdone.
Yeah. And he'd been so weak with his client, and my team was left to pick up the pieces because he couldn't get his client to make the decisions that we needed them to make. And you're in Goa.
Oh.
And nothing happens quickly in Goa. Yeah. And if you ask me at 10 o'clock at night for a surfboard for a 4 a.m. call time, it's not going to happen.
What gives someone a right to make someone feel uncomfortable?
I don't know. I mean, look, who knows what kind of marriage these people have. That's what's so weird. A lot of those Bollywood marriages are slightly sort of fabricated anyway, aren't they? The tragic one is Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Seeing 2 people who had so much that tear each other apart so publicly. And you're just looking at it. I think that's why everyone was so mesmerised by the whole thing, because it was so bad.
I think there's a lot of shame attached to, if you're from an educated family and your parents have spent on your education, you are expected to abide by certain ways of society. Otherwise, you are the reason that, your family will undergo a certain kind of, shame. Say, like, I walked out of a marriage and my family had to face so many consequences.
Really?
Because of that, because I chose something. And it was not expected of an educated girl to walk out of an abusive marriage. It is so, that's the dichotomy, and that's the, I don't know what has contributed to this. Lot of conditioning, and where did the conditioning arise from?
Very strange.
But I feel, I still do feel that because I started working very early, I had that knowledge, I had that awareness that I knew what freedom felt like.
But is it Delhi? Is it a Delhi thing, or is it the same in Mumbai? And it's not the same in Calcutta.
Calcutta, and I'm not the right person to quote about Calcutta because unfortunately I wasn't brought up there. But when I hear about stories of Calcutta from my mother and my grandmother, it seems like a very different world.
Yeah.
Now when we see leaders like Medha Mukerji, in her latest interview with Parkhagat, she says, Bengal, the women here, we are told that whatever you do and whatever you choose is okay.
Yeah.
Don't be apologetic.
Yeah. But it's always been a lot more liberal, hasn't it?
Yes, it's always been a lot more liberal.
I mean, because I'm doing this screenplay, the characters are set in Baroda and Jaipur and Calcutta.
Okay.
And when my heroine moves from Baroda to West Bengal, or to Kuch Behar, her life in Calcutta is completely different. Because, and this is in the 1910s, but the men and the women were socializing together.
Yeah.
She'd go to the races together, and then she'd go with her mother from Baroda to Mysore or Rajasthan, and they'd be totally separated, and she'd be sort of curtained off. And even when her daughter Gayatri Devi marries the Maharaja of Jaipur, as soon as they're married, as she leaves Kuch Behar to go to the railway station to go for her honeymoon, all these Rajputs suddenly appear with these screens and section her off when she spent her whole life in Kuch Behar being as free as a bird. And her family are absolutely horrified. Even her grandmother is horrified. And this is in 1940, that women are still being sort of compartmentalised.
Yes.
And I kind of wonder, you go as a foreigner, you go to Jaipur now, which is really good fun, and you have a real laugh, but you don't meet any of the local women there at all. Very few of them. And it's all these guys out with all these foreign girls partying.
Yeah.
And you just don't see any women.
You know, it is so common, and I'll say it out blatantly. I've been to one of the best schools here, and I've probably had a very good quality education. From these institutes, usually, this is how the boys usually think, mostly. This is a girl, she's good to enjoy with.
Yeah.
She's great for going out at night, for partying. You know, she'll be a great friend, but it stops at that. And when I choose a wife, because, you know, the men have been brought up with a different definition of marriage.
Yes.
That, you know, I don't know, either they've seen their mothers or they've seen their grandmothers, or they've been told so that marriage means expanding
Yeah.
the human race, and that's about it. And that's how they select their wives.
Yeah.
So the qualification of the wife has to be that she must look good and she must be capable of bearing children.
Yeah. And that's it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
You know, so it doesn't surprise me that a lot of educated men, many of them, and I don't mean to generalize all men, of course, but many of the guys will choose girls based on looks and bare minimum qualification. And unfortunately, India has one of the highest attrition rates amongst working women. Most of the women quit their jobs when they are about to bear their second child, and one of the biggest reasons for leaving their jobs is not the pregnancy, it is the pressure of family.
Yeah, I'm sure.
To nurture the child. You know, they see that, oh, I'm a mother, so it's my duty to kind of just leave everything for my kid.
But the irony of that is that as a part of an extended family, you've got a whole network of people who could support you and help you, so you could actually go back to work.
Yeah.
It's not like in the UK where you have to spend 3 lakh a month on childcare before you've even started taking your own wage home.
Wow.
So you've got your mother or your mother-in-law or your aunties or your grandmother who actually are there, and they could, if they so chose,
There's
say,
an ecosystem.
look, you go back to work, you continue your career, you develop your career, and we'll look after the kids for you. That's how it should work, because they should be encouraged to develop themselves. And
I think the women who've professionally progressed, they have very supportive families.
yeah,
You know, from the mothers to the mother-in-laws to the husbands, everybody around them, because I've interviewed more than 90 of them, you know, and in every interview they'll say that I couldn't have done it without the support of my husband. I couldn't have done it without the support of my mother-in-law.
yeah,
Whereas and also there was an author who was separated and she had a 6-year-old child. She said, I could not have written these books had my ex-husband not been supportive.
really, that's good.
So there are stories like that, but again, how many women are there at the top?
All the most successful Indian women I've met are divorced.
Right.
I'm just thinking about it now, talking to you about it. I'm going in my head, I'm going through mentally through my friends who are really successful, got their own businesses, all divorced, which is terrible.
It is terrible, and that's why there's a certain stigma that comes, with being divorced or being a divorcee. I mean, I was out with friends, and someone was saying that I met this girl and she was a divorcee, and I said, is that a category?
Well, it is for your mother-in-law. But no, I just, it's very interesting to see the way it works. I mean, I don't think in the West we've got it any better. I mean, I'm separated. My brother's on his second marriage. My dad was married 3 times.
Yes.
He used to make me laugh when I hit 30. He'd say, "Oh, you're not going to get married."
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he was like, "Would you like to get married?" And I just looked at him and said, "You've been married 3 times. Do you think you're setting me a great example?" And he paused and he went, No, I suppose you're right. He never mentioned it again.
Well done.
End of conversation.
Yeah. I feel there's a lot of pressure when it comes to the word marriage, that you have to make it work. It has to be forever. It has to last lifelong. Whereas people don't realize that marriage, the concept was invented when people used to live up to 60, 65, so you get married at 20, you live, you have kids. By the time you're 40, you have 1 or 2 children, and you then after 40, 45, you actually start aging. So the period during which you're actually married was like 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
But now people are living up to 80, 100, like they're fit, and so the whole concept.
No, and you change as well as a person. You develop as a person as you get older. And I think I certainly noticed when I hit my late 40s that I was suddenly thinking, God, I've spent the last 10 years being someone else's wife and being somebody's mother. And I've sort of forgotten who I am and what I want. And my kids will be leaving home in, I hope, in about 8 years, maybe less.
Yes.
And then what?
And then what?
And then what do I do? I'm on my own, which is actually quite a liberating thought. But you do also need to sort of think about what you want. Were you the person you were at university? Were you the person you were in your 20s when you had all these ideas and you thought that everything was just going to be marvellous? And now you've had sort of some of the joy kicked out of life, but you have to sort of pick yourself up and rebuild. And then you're thinking, well, actually, I know myself a lot better than I did when I was in my 20s. I've got a clearer idea of what's going on around me, a clearer idea of what I want. And I think that's why so many marriages break up when women are in their sort of 50s. Maybe because they stop taking any shit from men a lot of the time. Yeah. And they'll just turn around and say, no, I'm not going to accept this anymore. Yeah. And the kids are a bit older, so they don't feel as tied to the kids. Yeah. And then you suddenly think, actually, this isn't what I want. Yeah. And men have their midlife crisis that everyone knows about. So maybe that's when they go off with the younger woman, because the younger woman is prepared to soak up a lot more of their nonsense.
That's true.
Than the woman they're married to, who knows them better. Yeah. And knows where to draw the line. Yeah. And I think that's what inspires. Also, I think men are terrified of getting older, so they start losing their hair. And they're not used to the changes. As a woman, your body changes all the time. You get boobs, you get periods, you have children. Yeah. So there's a lot about your body you can't control. But for a man, you've always been in control of your body, and then suddenly you start aging, and you start losing your hair, or you get a little bit fat. Yeah. And then suddenly you're thinking, oh, Jesus Christ, I need a younger model to make me feel better.
Yeah, I mean,
I've-
Leonardo DiCaprio, right? He's
Oh, it's pathetic. I mean, it's tragic. Oh, Robert De Niro. It's like, oh, Mick Jagger. It's like all these geriatric men with these really young women. And these women wouldn't look at them if they weren't famous or rich. And Leonardo DiCaprio is a perfect case in point. I mean, it's just getting a bit sad now.
It is. I mean, I just, if I had to see the silver lining, I would think, I hope it helps the girl,
Yeah.
whatever she's,
Yeah,
whatever should
Yeah.
be worth the sacrifice.
I know. It's just, I just find the whole thing a bit sad. I've got a friend, old boyfriend of mine from university, he and his wife divorced, and we were talking about it when my marriage was kind of imploding, and James was saying, he's got all these friends who've now in their mid-50s who've got 4-year-old and 5-year-old kids.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, I'm so tired all the time. And what they've done is they've left their wives and started the second family with these much younger women who all want children suddenly.
Absolutely.
And now they're suddenly doing it again. James is having a blast. His kids are in their 20s. He's off skiing. He's off on holiday the whole time. And he's like, there's no way I would ever want to go off with a younger woman.
Yeah.
And suddenly find out I'm going to be a father again, aged however old, 60.
These are dynamics, and my point is that, I do feel like being in this society, that the women have to bear the brunt of a divorce or age, much more than the men.
Oh.
And
It's not just this society, it's every society, I think.
every society, most of the societies, and it's really sad. But I want to come back to this question, which I wanted to ask you: how did India happen?
India. I was bored in London, and my ex and I had this mad idea of taking an old palace in Calcutta and making it into a boutique hotel.
Okay.
Looking back on it now, it was just nuts. And why we even thought that was possible, I don't know. Anyway, and his family's from Calcutta, so we sort of went and had a look, and then we realised that it was just going to cost crores. And we got married in Calcutta, and I love Calcutta, but trying to arrange anything in Calcutta is like swimming through treacle. It takes 10 times longer than anywhere else on earth. And so I think she's a lad. Anyway, he got a job in Delhi as a lawyer, and we sort of thought, we didn't have children. We thought, I have my own business in London, and I thought, well, let's just give it a go.
Okay.
So that was 17 years ago. And then I set up my production company because I was a photographer's agent in London, and I had an old client, French client, who was over here shooting for a really, really big French luxury goods company. And he came to my flat, they were shooting in Jaipur, and he literally sank onto the sofa. I just said, you've got no idea what happened. And they had this awful shoot in Jaipur. It was disaster. He said, why don't you set up a production company? He said, we all know you. We trust you. You're here. And I thought, actually, that's a really good idea. And then I had a friend in London who'd done some filming here, and I rang him up and said, that guy you worked with, because I knew I needed an Indian partner. I knew I couldn't do it.
Actually, I wanted to pause you where you said, that your friend came here and he was in Jaipur, and, during the shoot schedule, he was just like, oh my God.
No, it was after the shoot, and what was happening was that every evening, this was years ago, this is like 15 years ago, and things have changed a lot since then, especially in Jaipur. But the crew would say every night, we're not coming tomorrow unless you pay us twice what you paid us to date. And they would basically blackmail the producer in Jaipur.
Oh.
And it was quite a difficult photographer as well. And I don't know if she'd shot here before. Anyway, it's difficult for a foreign team. I mean, it was so bad that they were supposed to come back and do the winter campaign. And they were going to shoot it in Ladakh, which is a really lovely place to shoot. Actually, Ladakh's a nice place to shoot. Anyway, it was so bad that they shot it all in the Alps. And they found 2 yaks in Brittany and bussed these yaks across France because nobody wanted to come back to shoot in India again. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
And touch wood, I had one crazy shoot, but I've never had anything as bad as that. But yeah, so this man was, and his wife's Indian. It's not like he doesn't know India. He knows India really well.
Okay.
But he was just like grey when he came back to my flat, just exhausted.
I mean, we do, these are global statistics that India comes in the top 10 most corrupt countries in the world. There is, it is difficult to get work done.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of, resistance to getting anything.
It's very opaque. So if you want to book a photo studio in London or equipment, you go on the company's website and you get all the statistics and you get the costs. The prices are there in black and white. Here, everything is a negotiation. And it's just exhausting. And you're just like, oh, don't say it. Just tell me how much it is and stop wasting my time.
Right.
Because I'd rather know now what I'm in for.
Right.
Than 2 days before the shoot and then suddenly you've whacked up the rates.
Wow. Yeah.
Which is what has happened. But that's why I get my business partner to... He wouldn't dream of letting me talk to any supplier here.
Yeah.
Partly because I'd lose my temper.
Rightly so.
Yeah. But I don't know why it needs to be so opaque. My brother does mining all over the world. He does a lot of work in Africa, in Somalia, southern Sudan, mining, gas, oil. And he was trying to sell a coal mine in Asia. And he called my ex-husband and said, do you want to help me? Because we think the only people who are actually going to buy this coal mine, probably Indian.
Okay.
And my ex said to him, he said, well, yeah, I mean, I can try and help you, but you'll have to pay me a commission and everything. Don't you want to do it directly? Apparently my brother on the phone just went, India, I just can't cope with the corruption.
Yeah.
And this is somebody who works in Somalia and Sudan and Nigeria. I mean, not the easiest places, or the Congo.
Yeah.
And my brother was like, in Africa, it's kind of easy.
Yeah.
Whereas here, you pay one person and then 10 other people come out of the woodwork.
Absolutely.
And then you pay them and then it still doesn't get done.
Yeah.
He said, I just can't be bothered.
Yeah. So now this makes me think that you moved from a country like the UK
Oh, yeah.
to a place like India.
Yes.
Of course, India is beautiful.
Yes.
And, it does give rise to a lot of opportunity as well.
Yeah.
But I want to know, how was your experience when you just moved to India and you just started working? I want to know about your work journey.
Oh, I look back on our first few shoots and just think, God, how did we get away with that? But no, I mean, we did the most ridiculously dumb things. And luckily we didn't have any disasters, but I don't know. I mean, I always say to Rahul, my business partner, he said, why do you live here? And I said, well, I'm never bored. And he just came out with, I am. And I'm like, well, you're from here. I see things in a really different way. Our
Yes.
perspective's completely different. Also, I moved here in my late 30s, so I'd had a really great career in Europe already, and I'd done a lot in Europe, and I was just a bit bored.
Yeah.
And as you get older as well, you become less relevant in a way in London because it's all the new and the young people coming up. You've seen Ab Fab, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to turn into Eddie from Ab Fab trying to be all young and groovy. Whereas here, it's just
Yeah.
because I've been here for a long time. My clients are sort of they feel comfortable because they know I've had that experience and they know that I understand what they expect.
So, but I want to know about, like you're saying your first few shoots were.
There were no disasters. It's just that we didn't.
It's a miracle.
Yeah. Now we're much more on it, obviously. I mean, we have huge clients now.
I've seen some of your campaigns. They were, I mean, marvelous. Like,
yeah, there's some really great ones. There's some ones the ones I like. Well, the ones I really like are the ones where you mix Indian talent with international talent.
Okay.
So we had a whole lot of street dancers and parkour guys, really cool people shooting in Old Delhi. And I get a bit bored of all those sort of Rajasthani palaces and sort of white man's Rajasthan and ambassador cars and elephants and stuff. I mean, they're really beautiful, but it's not India.
Real India.
Yeah. Whereas this particular shoot that we did was Old Delhi. It was a very cool, very young American photographer, and they brought 4 models over from Europe.
Okay.
And then we got like 10, 15 people from here, and they all got on really well. And we had a blast, and you can see it in the pictures. You can see, but suddenly you can see cool India, young India, fun India, which you don't see very often.
Yeah, the rural India that is exposed to, the global culture through phones and through the internet. Like you've heard of these movies called Gully Boy.
Yes.
I mean, I really don't want to quote Slumdog Millionaire because again, it's so overdone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the truth. I think that is the real country.
Yeah.
That enthusiasm and that vigor to break the old stereotypical conditioning and the classist structure of society.
There's that company. Do you know Veg Non-Veg? They're trainers and design. They started designing clothes, and it's a couple. He's Indian, she's Dutch.
Okay.
And they're really, really interesting. They're really cool. They do these fabulous fashion shows.
Okay.
And the casting is just off the scale. It's great. And it's fun. And it looks cool. And it's just really, it's so fresh. And I just go there and I'm constantly blown away about their casting by the people they find.
Okay.
And just the whole attitude.
You mean they, what do you mean? You mean they choose people from?
They choose people who've sort of DJs who've got bright green hair. A lot of people from the northeast that you don't see in mainstream media. For an outsider, I remember I was doing a casting for a massive shampoo commercial.
Yeah.
And it was a London ad agency, but it was an Indian client. It was an Indian campaign. And they'd done all this research showing how people from the northeast and people from the south dark-skinned people were not represented at all in Indian advertising. And they were a massive percentage of the market.
Right.
So the London ad agency came to us and said, so we want to do casting, which is going to show all of the racial diversity of India. So we want people from the northeast, we want people from Kashmir, we want people from the south, we want people with very dark skin.
Yeah.
And we had this really exciting conversation. I said, oh my God, we can get you some really fabulous tribal girls who've got very, very dark skin. You can get blonde people from Kashmir. It's going to be incredible.
Right.
And then I said, but have you discussed this with your client? And they were like, well, no, but we're going to. Then suddenly, we weren't doing the casting. Somebody in Bombay was doing the casting. And then we did the shoot. We did the production for the photo shoot. And they all looked like Priyanka Chopra. And the client had put brakes on the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think their one concession was that we had an older woman who's actually my doctor, which is quite weird. I suddenly saw her on the shoot, my GP. I was like, what are you doing here? But the casting was really boring. And they had a few women with short hair. And that was about as daring as they got.
Right. That was unconventional.
Yeah, and it was just like, that's why I think what Virgin Unveg are doing is so great. It's just that they've got everybody involved. Yeah. And it's different and it's fresh and it's what it should be.
You know, there's a difference between women doing women-centric businesses to promote other women and the business of women-centric businesses. You know, where you're making money on, you know, portraying this very farce, superficial image of women empowerment.
Yeah.
Which is not India.
No.
You know, I could have the longest length of hair and I could be the most unconventional person. You know, what defines me is the way I think. But I do feel that a large part of the advertising these days also, you know, when people are writing screenplays and the scripts that we see, there's a certain woman who is, I mean, yes, you want to show that it's okay for a woman to drink and smoke, but you're not showing why, what is the source of that independence? How is she, you know, that, because that's a very small section of the women. Most of the women are, you know, going to fetch water, and most of the women are at home with Harvard degrees, managing their households or family businesses where they don't want to probably. But you're showing a certain ideal metro woman who's metro city girl who's, you know, like a mix of.
But she's not married.
She's not married.
As soon as she's married, that's it.
That is true.
I mean, monsoon wedding.
Oh my God.
It's old.
Eye-opener. It's old and it's.
But it's still relevant.
It's very much relevant. And I don't think society has changed a lot.
No.
I think that movie was ahead of its times. And it was very relevant for its time as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I do look at some friends, or friends of mine are saying, don't you want a boyfriend? All right. Why? Why do I want a boyfriend? I don't need anything from a man.
Yeah. And it's a very personal choice. I don't think women should be judged basis their level of need for a man.
Yeah.
You know, I could want a man and I could not want a man, but why do I need to be judged for?
Yeah. Or they sort of feel a bit sorry for you. Oh, she doesn't have a boyfriend.
Right.
So, no, she's got a life.
I've heard this so many times. Oh, you're so pretty. You don't have a guy. Like, is that a compliment or was that
I don't know.
Slap on my face?
I don't know. I think it's really funny.
But how do you, Leonie, you know, I want to talk more about the women in the production space. Because, of course, I work closely, you know, with my partner, my colleague, and, you know, she's been a fantastic, I mean, I know her since she was an intern and she had that fire, you know, and my only concern is that this fire shouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and every alternate day, the only thing we discuss, I mean, it is inevitable that this conversation will happen. That, Medha, there's a lot of pressure to get married.
Mm.
She's doing these fantastic things, and she's creative, and she's handling a team of
Yeah.
6 7 people
Mm.
in a country like ours,
Mm.
and it's an all boys team.
Mm.
And you know how it is.
Mm.
You were sharing.
Well, it's different. I mean, for me, it's very different because I'm a foreigner.
Okay.
And also I'm much older than nearly everybody I work with. And right from the beginning, I was quite tough with them. I used to be a bit of a bitch because they weren't doing what I wanted them to do, and they weren't listening to me.
Yeah.
And my business partner and I used to be, he was good cop and I was bad cop. And then I got cancer. And then with the first shoot after I got back from cancer, there suddenly the roles were reversed. And Rahul was bad cop. And I was just so relieved not to be dead that I was actually quite pleased to see everybody.
Wow.
So it's been quite interesting since then. But he and I have discussed it about how we have trained this group of people, and it's taken a decade. And now it kind of works like clockwork because everybody knows the level of professionalism required. You go somewhere else. You go to Goa, which is a complete shit show.
Yeah.
And actually what we've started to do now is try and bring as many people as possible from Mumbai or from Delhi.
Yeah.
Because the work ethic doesn't appear to exist as much down there.
Okay.
You have to give the local Goan team a call time 2 hours before everyone else, so they get there on time.
Right.
And there are men who don't listen to me, but then I don't think they listen to anybody.
Right.
But
Yeah.
but I don't with
No, it's very normal. Like, when me and my mom and my dad sit in a cab, the cab driver will look at my dad.
yeah
Sir, kahan jana hai?
yeah
It's very automatic.
yeah
It's never madam kahan jana hai,
Yeah.
or like I'm, then sometimes my dad will look at me. Where do we have to go? Like, what's the name of the place?
yes
My father's a retired old guy. Like,
yeah. Oh, I know, it's
let him chill.
extraordinary. Yeah.
And I remember once I was gonna sit on the front seat, and the cab driver said, "Ma'am, saab बैठ जाएंगे यहाँ पे." I said, firstly, he's not your saab. Calm down. And secondly, doesn't matter.
That's unbelievable. Was that here or was that in Goa?
It was here in Delhi, but it's the same. There's no.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Bombay is very different.
Yeah, Bombay has its own set of issues to deal with.
Yes,
But-
but this is not one of those.
No.
Like,
No.
Bombay
But it's
very-
like, I remember you saying that when you moved to work in Delhi from Bombay, and then they were saying you can't work late.
Yeah. All the women in the office in Delhi would leave, and my office was in Barakhamba Road, which is
Well,
one
it's
of the
hardly
best.
South Central LA, is it?
The women would leave office by 7:30, whereas you're in banking and you want to stay late in office and do your research and read up and
Yeah.
doing that kind of a job.
When you told me that, I was really struck by that.
I think people around me were struck by the fact that I said, I want to stay late, and I got a backlash from not just the people in my office, because they felt partly responsible. They said, if something happens to you, we're screwed. And I got backlash from my house also.
Really?
Yeah, that why are you working so late? You're working, you're getting a salary, just be happy. You're doing more than enough.
Yeah.
It's
Why is it, though, do you think that women are always being, not always, frequently being sort of pulled back by their families?
We used to be a matriarchal society. We used to really empower our women. Women had a lot of say in money and household, not just household, in financial decisions also. but I don't know what went wrong when.
Mm.
And now it's a mix. It's like we're educated and we are privileged to a certain extent,
Mm.
but we still hold the women back. And I don't know why.
Mm. Let's say the heroine of my show, she was educated in England, she spoke 4 languages. She was going to be married off to this Maharaja as his second wife, because his first wife couldn't manage to have any kids. She was going to be kept in Purdah.
So the Maharaja was much older than her.
He was about 12 years, 15 years older than her. And her parents were really super progressive. Her mother wrote a book in 1911 about feminism in India.
Oh.
I mean, they were really educated, very international people. And still,
Yeah.
they were prepared to marry their daughter off to this guy, well, Maharaja, who was their equal. It would have been a nice marriage for them. They were Baroda, he was Gwalior. It would have been very fitting, the Marathi marriage. And then she meets someone and falls in love with them, breaks off her engagement.
Perfect.
Without telling her parents. You imagine how they felt. But I can't help thinking, what if she hadn't done that? What kind of life would she have had in Gwalior as wife number 2? And her whole week was mapped out that she would go riding with her husband to be on Wednesday mornings.
Right.
And they'd spend Thursday night together. And that was it. Otherwise, she'd be in the women's quarters. And she's a woman who was used to wandering around London on her own.
Right.
Or going to Paris. Or she was super educated. And you can't help thinking about her parents. I mean, what was going on in your heads that you thought that that was going to work out? And that everyone was going to be happy with that one? And her brothers supported her when she broke off the engagement.
Okay.
Her brothers were like, yeah, good for you.
Yeah.
But her mother didn't speak to her for 6 years. And they totally cut her off without a penny.
Yeah, I think that's a big one. Financial control.
Yeah.
There's, there's emotional abuse, there's physical abuse, and then there's financial abuse. Where you use money to dominate somebody.
Yeah.
And it's very much true even in 2023. Women should be encouraged to earn their own penny.
Maybe that's why a lot of husbands don't like their wives working, because if you have your salary, it gives you your escape fund, and it gives you independence, and it gives you power. Money's power, isn't it?
Money's power.
But do they do that? Does that get thrown in your face if you're not doing what your family want you to do? They're like, well, we've paid for your education and we've supported you.
I do feel so.
Really?
Yes, I do feel that. See, you can't blame family, because again, they've seen certain things, they've themselves succumbed to certain things. So when they believe that this is best for you, that marrying at a certain age and having children at a certain age is the best for my daughter, they will always try to push that. And whatever method they have to use for that, in their head it's very justified because their intent is always that, oh, I want good for my daughter.
Yeah.
I don't want her
It's
to
not
suffer.
malicious.
It's not malicious. So you can't really blame them. And again, this also opens up a lot of conversations around parenting, and that a lot of people had children at an age where they were not prepared to have children. They were not ready to be parents.
I don't know if you're ever ready to be a parent, actually. It's such hard work.
But having said that, my mother became a mother at 21.
Wow.
And that's the story of most of the millennials. Not just millennials, even Gen Z. Most of the people I know, their mothers conceived at 21, 22, 23. I mean, you hardly know yourself.
No.
So, and you're expected to raise a child,
Yeah.
and you may or may not have a husband who contributes to the parenthood,
Yeah.
because usually men are told that as long as you earn the bread, you're sorted.
She can do everything
You're
else.
doing your bit,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like that at school when I go and pick up my kids from school. I'm so much older than all the other mothers. Because I'm like 15 years older than most of them, 20 years older than
so
most of
let's
them.
talk about this. You had your first child
40.
at 40.
Yeah. And my second when I was almost 42.
I'm going to say that again. You had your first child at 40.
Yes.
And you had your second almost when you were 42.
Yes.
I'm saying this again.
Why?
Because most of the women are told that you can't conceive. After 35, it's like every year is like a threat to your fertility.
I hate that, women's fertility. It's like, oh God, we're not cattle.
We're not cattle. And a lot of women go through IVF treatments. And I want you to share what you just shared with me.
Oh, what about my friends who've
Yes.
done IVF?
Yes.
Yeah. I just think it's the stress. The stress of it really. It's like I was saying earlier, women in a war zone, their bodies stop. They kind of shut down slightly. And I think I've seen so many friends go through IVF. And IVF is not fun. It's really invasive.
Yeah.
It really messes up your hormones. It messes up your body. It messes up your mind.
Yeah.
And then they go through it. They feel like a complete failure.
Yeah.
Because success is getting pregnant and you don't get pregnant, or you have a miscarriage, which is just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And then, as I said to you earlier, all my friends who've actually had kids naturally have given up on IVF.
Yeah.
And just then the pressure's off. They've sort of accepted that they're not going to have children. So my sister, I was telling you, had her first daughter naturally after years of IVF. Then she had a son aged, God, she was 41, almost 42 when she had her son naturally. And this is after years of IVF. I don't know. I mean, luckily, I was very lucky. But I think it's a terrible industry in many cases. I think it preys on women's sort of insecurities.
Yeah. Sounds like most industries to me.
But it is. It's an industry, and a lot of people make a lot of money from it. And I think that in many societies, not just here, you're made to feel as a woman, you're made to feel a sort of failure if you can't have kids.
Yeah. Like you're incomplete.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Oh, she didn't have any children. Now, she had a great life, and she's travelled all over the world, and she's got lots of fabulous friends. Oh, but she doesn't have any children. Not everybody has to have children.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my take on it. I mean, I love my kids, but I don't feel like they've completed me at all. You can't rely on anyone else to complete you. You have to complete yourself.
Yes.
That's the one thing that you have to do.
Yes.
It's like you can't rely on anyone else to make you happy.
No.
Or you can't make someone else happy. I've seen so many women compromise trying to make their husbands happy. And you can't.
Yeah.
They've got to do it themselves.
I've seen women take that on as a task.
Yeah.
You know,
thankless task.
Yeah, like if I don't look this way, my husband won't look at me. If I don't be this way, you know, if I try to show my ambition too much, my husband would lose his sex drive or something. I've really heard that so much.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I find it bizarre. But I think also as women, we're programmed because there's so much pressure on us to do the right thing, to create a situation.
The right thing.
Yeah, to make the home. Oh, you're a homemaker. So, no, I'm not very good at that. And then you sort of women beat themselves up about it. Or, yes, her husband had an affair. Almost like it's her fault.
Right.
No, so a lot of the women I work with in production, and a lot of them are actually single mothers, strangely.
a lot of the women you work with a
So
lot of women in production.
yeah, so I
There are
have
women in production
a lot.
because I haven't found.
No, in this is America or the UK. So I would say that 80% of my clients
Yeah.
are women. But a lot of I mean, because they're coming from overseas to India to shoot,
Okay.
they will be here for like 2 weeks at a time. Which if you've got children, it's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
But I've got one friend who's an English woman who's a producer in LA. Her kids are a lot older. I don't know how she did it. It's her business. I don't know how she did it
Yeah.
when her kids were younger. Actually, I do. She sent her kids to boarding school, which is a whole different set of challenges actually paying for boarding school. But there are a lot of women in production. I think maybe because you can work for yourself and you can be really flexible, and you can pick and choose your jobs.
Yeah.
But in India,
Yeah.
no, I don't know very many. There's me too. Yeah, I don't know any.
You see why? I'm lucky I bumped into one.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so, but it's everything we were talking about earlier. If you're in production, you have to work really long hours.
Yeah.
You have to travel. You have to go away for extended periods of time.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a support network, then you're screwed. And you can't. It's not the kind of job you can take your kids with you.
Yeah.
I had an American friend here who was a journalist, very, very, very successful journalist. And she was a single mother. At times she used to beat herself up because she felt that she wasn't there for her daughter. And now they're in Rome. And she doesn't have the nanny and the cook and the driver.
Yeah.
She's really doing it all on her own now. But Italy is a much easier country to get around, so she's not having to go up to, I don't know, Assam for 4 days or down to Kerala for a week to do a story. She can do everything in a couple of days and be back.
Right.
But no, but going back to women in production, I think that is one of the reasons why. Also, your technical crew's all men.
Yeah. Mostly.
And it's a very sort of macho environment.
Yeah.
Whereas and still in film in the UK, I think it's very macho. But because in the UK or in America, you've got a lot more women in the business, and they're quite ballsy, a lot of these women, that it's easier for them to handle everybody. And if somebody's got a bad attitude, then they're gone. They don't work.
Right. Yeah.
So I think the women's tolerance levels there are a lot lower.
Yeah. And that's a good thing.
Yeah. So if somebody's giving you a bad attitude, you're just like, you're off. Yeah. And I that maybe is happening slowly here.
Yeah.
There are some women here I really wouldn't want to mess with at all.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of other women I see accepting stuff that I wouldn't dream of putting up with.
Well, you've made a statement, and I am going to ask you more details.
Oh dear, what?
So what do you feel about, these, when you're bossy, or we were just discussing how, to get your work done, sometimes, not sometimes, most of the times, you have to be a little aggressive.
Yeah.
Because the work environment is very macho.
Yeah.
So you end up becoming very, you end up becoming that way. I mean, then, it does have an impact
Yeah.
on your personality.
Yeah, you do.
It's happened so many times, and I'm sure this is very relatable to a lot of women here. Like you expect
Yeah.
it to be nice, but if you're
You
working,
try to be nice,
yeah,
and then it doesn't get you anywhere. A lot of the time, it doesn't get you anywhere at all. And it's really depressing, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to be that kind of person, but you feel like you're almost left with no option but to become a bitch.
Yep.
But I had an American client this summer, and it was a total fiasco because we couldn't get the client to make up his mind about something on a shoot, and we were working really long days, like 2 a.m. to 11 p.m. for over an extended period. So by the end of it, the milk of human kindness had kind of dried up in my body. And he said something to me, this American client, and I've never done this before. I completely lost my shit with him. He said that he thought that the client thought that I was taking a backhander from somebody, which I've never done before.
okay.
And I've worked with this client for years.
Oh.
And I don't know whether she said that or not. I don't really care. That's what he told me, and I totally lost it. And we were standing in this hotel reception, and he's a bit shorter than me. He's got some short man syndrome. Americans are always so professional, and in England you'd say something's a nightmare. Americans would say it was a challenge. It's really a challenge. You're just like, no, it's a nightmare, and it's not going to happen. Anyway, so he said this, and I just snapped, and I started shouting at him. And all the hotel reception staff, what's going on? And it was the night before the last day of shooting. And he'd been so weak with his client, and my team was left to pick up the pieces because he couldn't get his client to make the decisions that we needed them to make. And you're in Goa.
Oh.
And nothing happens quickly in Goa.
No.
And if you ask me at 10 o'clock at night for a surfboard for a 4 a.m. call time, it's not going to happen. Anyway, I totally lost my shit with him, and it was hilarious because from then on, A, I think he was a bit scared of me, and B, the whole shoot went like a dream.
The
Because
whole shoot went like a dream.
because it was like we'd established our boundaries, and
So it was
somebody,
a good thing.
yeah, it was a really good thing. And I think it was a bit of a wake-up call for him as well.
Yeah.
But it was, and I've never done it before. I've never shouted at a client.
I'm giving you a high five.
What, for losing it with him?
Yeah.
Rahul, my business partner, thought it was hilarious. But if he'd done it, I'm sure I wouldn't have been so nice about it. If he'd shouted at the client, I would have been like, no, that's not cool. That's not cool. But anyway, but that was me with an American. I don't think I'd ever do it with, I'd certainly never do it with an Indian client. Because it would just be really, I'm not sure they could take it.
Yeah, I mean, there is a risk of losing the client for sure.
Yeah.
There was me and my digital partner, we were discussing this, that sometimes clients tell you very funny things. Like, I thought you were a girl, so you would be a little soft-spoken. But I was highly mistaken.
What does that mean?
That means...
You're telling me something I don't want to hear. That's what that means, doesn't it?
Yes.
Or you're not doing what I wanted you to do and I thought you were going to be a pushover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I paid you, so I expect that you do. I thought you'll be... I feel that a lot of clients assume that they would get more work done out of a woman vendor by paying lesser, because she wouldn't speak up.
Yeah, you should meet this friend of mine who's German, who's got a retouching company here. And when she first started it up, it was really funny. I mean, hats off to her. She's done it and she's made it work.
Yeah.
But these retouchers, so she's come from Paris.
Yeah.
She's used to doing like the best retouching on us.
Yeah.
And super professional, super quick. She went through so many retouchers here at the beginning before she found people who could A, take orders from a woman, B, deal with her German directness, C, the level of quality she wanted, and D, the time frame that she was working on. So now it's all working really well, but she'd come to my house on a Saturday and just say, oh, another one's gone. I've lost another retoucher. And I'm just laughing at her. I say, yeah, well, you're going to lose a lot before you find the right people.
Leonie, how important, now you've been about 30 years in this space?
Yeah.
30 years in production.
Yes.
We're all going to touch your feet after this podcast because we need some energy to rub off.
Yeah, 30 years. It's
30
a hell of a long time, isn't it? It's been a lot of fun. It really has. I mean, I've seen some wonderful things and worked with some great people. We did a shoot in Udaipur with this wonderful model, Yasmin Lebon, and her daughter Amber, who was a sweetheart. And Simon Lebon came. You know the guy from the lead singer from Duran Duran?
Yes.
So they were a scream. They were so nice and so funny. And I remember the last day of the shoot, we were sitting in Devigar, that beautiful hotel outside Udaipur, and we'd organised this Rajasthani folk band, and we were having dinner under the stars, and I was sitting next to Simon Le Bon, talking to him. He was talking to me like I was a normal person, having these very funny conversations. I was thinking, oh my God, if I'd known when I was 12 that I'd be sitting next to Simon Le Bon.
Wow.
Rather than having posters of him on my wall.
The perks of the job.
No, but I mean, it doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, it's kind of magical and it's really good fun.
Yeah. It's all worth it then.
Well, it's just... And they were so nice as well. I mean, I've worked with a lot of models who aren't so nice.
Okay.
But they were just charming, and Yasmin Le Bon was so funny.
How do you manage when the model or the, subject
is not easy?
It's not easy.
You just have to kind of ignore it and try and jolly them along. And if they're not enjoying the shoot, then you're not going to get the pictures. So you've got to make sure that they're comfortable. And you might think that they're a complete wanker, but you have to sort of park that.
Like keep your personal judgment aside.
It's nothing to do. It's the job,
right?
And I think that that's something that you learn over the years. You don't take it personally.
Right.
You've got no idea what's going on in their lives.
Yeah.
Also, if you're a model, you're flying all around the world on your own.
Yeah.
I was talking about it with my friend last night because his niece is a very, very, very successful model.
Okay.
And I mean, she's a sort of supermodel. And we were talking about how she'll be on a flight to Johannesburg, and then she'll do a shoot in Johannesburg. Then she'll be on a flight in Tokyo, and she'll get off the flight, and then she'll go to the photo studio with a whole group of people she's never met before.
Wow.
She'll do a day in Tokyo, then she'll go back to London, and she might have a day off, and then she's doing another shoot. And you're constantly exhausted. You have no power over where you're going next, over your time, because you've got a booker who's trying to make as much money out of you as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, probably not in her case, because she's at that level now, she can probably say no.
Yeah.
But you work with these models. I had this really sweet girl on a shoot in Rajasthan once, and she'd left New York. She left her apartment in New York 6 weeks before.
Okay.
And she'd gone to Milan to do the shows, and then she suddenly became this big sensation for the shows. So she was booked for all the Paris shows. Then she was booked for all these campaigns.
Yeah.
Then she thought she was going to be away for a week.
Yeah.
She hadn't been home for 6 weeks. So you can't have a relationship with anybody. You can't see your friends.
Yeah.
And her agent was saying to her, look, this is your opportunity. This is when you're going to make or break your career.
Yeah.
So you're on a shoot with these people. You've
Yeah.
got no idea what's going on in their lives.
Right.
For everybody, the photographer, the client,
Yeah.
nobody. And you're all together in this situation. And I think you have to be really understanding that if somebody's a bit snappy with you, you don't take it personally. You just get on with the job and you try and make everything fun.
Right.
We did a shoot in Jodhpur, and I asked the producer, who's this American guy, because we're redoing our website, I said, can we do just a testimonial for our website? He sent me this really sweet testimonial saying what was so nice was that we actually cared. And Nisha, who I work with, had taken them shopping around Jodhpur. We didn't need to do that.
Right.
But she really wanted them to see Jodhpur and to enjoy themselves when they were doing the shoot. They loved it.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of thing. Once you've got all of this in place, I mean, anyone can do that.
Right.
But it's the extra stuff that you bring. And I think that's what people appreciate. It's not a job. It's more than a job. It's making people feel valued.
Right.
And even if someone's being difficult on the shoot, you just suck it up.
It's so surprising. I've done podcasts with men, and barring one guest, who blatantly said on the podcast that, Medha, for 200 years or so, women have been subjugated to so much shit that now, if most of them are just going wild into this revolution, I don't think you can blame them. Like, if the men were if it was any gender, it's kind of justified. Barring that one Gen Z podcast guest that I had, the other guys, they have nothing to say. It almost seems like the woman is consistently thinking about the relationship. Women are trained to think about relationships, and the automated thought, the automatic conditioning is, how do I save this? I have to save everything. I have to protect, nurture every relationship, whether it's toxic, whether it's with a narcissist. I know so many friends, they've been in narcissistic relationships,
Oh my God.
and the first instinct, so the first battle is you're fighting your instinct.
Yeah.
That, oh, I don't want to save this and I should walk out of it. That's a lot of undoing, a lot of conditioning within yourself. And then you kind of start dealing with the person on the outside, which also is a big challenge. So I feel, no, the men, most of the men, unfortunately, I've really tried asking so many people, so many men, about their divorce as well.
Yeah.
That why did that happen? No, she just walked out. Well, what?
Why do you think that happened?
Why do you think that happened?
Oh, she wasn't happy.
She wasn't happy, and I let her be, and I gave her her full right, and I never, we had a mutual divorce, and I didn't stop her. And that's the sense of, entitlement. And if you ask my ex-husband, he would say the same. And the only reason my parents agreed to go through with the divorce, I was too young, and I was, I wasn't completely financially independent when I was going through mine. So I couldn't just walk out of my parents' house and say, okay, I'll go to my own place, and I don't care what you say. I didn't have the financial means to say that. But the only reason my father was convinced, actually, not my mother, till the very end. My father said, my first husband's father told my father that, Mr. Mukherjee, I have a son, and at the end of the day, he's gonna get married again, but you have a girl. And that's when something in my father like came, there was like some, and he said,
Well, you're now soiled goods, aren't you? Jesus Christ.
I am so grateful to God that he said that. And I'm so grateful to God that my husband behaved the way he did. Otherwise, I would never have the courage. I would also be stuck, and I would probably not be doing this podcast with you,
No, you
because things like the girl's father paying for the entire marriage, things like the girl's family spending more, things like the girl's family feeling obliged and accepting that the the family that has a son is superior to them, those things don't strike you. There's this movie in Bollywood called uh Thappad. I don't know if
No, I
you.
haven't seen it.
So it's a recent film, and they show this modern married couple, settled outside India, and the girl gets married from a small town here, and they move with the husband, and in a fit of anger, like they show a normal modern marriage where the woman is doing everything as a good wife, but also she's free, she's independent. Her husband doesn't stop her from um, going out and working. Her husband doesn't stop her from doing anything, so he's a good guy. One fine day they have this argument, and the husband is a little drunk, and he just slaps her. So the movie is called Thappad because of that. After that slap, it's not that he beat her up, it's not that he,
Just changed everything.
yes. From that very incident, the girl starts thinking that, wow, why am I packing his tiffin every morning? And why am I sending him off to office as if he's going to war? And she starts questioning, and I feel the movie would have resonated with most women, because that's what happens. There's that one incident that has to take place,
Yeah.
and then you start questioning.
And that's what happened to your father with your father-in-law,
Yes,
ex-father-in-law.
and that's what happened to me. And I said, why am I giving up? It's okay for the guy to cheat, but if the girl even talks about it, she's a bad girl.
Yeah.
She's not brought up well, or
Yeah.
she's too educated, or she's too ambitious, or
But so why? Because I always used to read those marriage ads in the newspapers. Wheaton girl with an MBA. I mean, do people educate their daughters just so they can marry better? Not so they can use their education.
No, like I said, it's again, your family wants good for you. And the definition of good, for a divorced girl, the society is brutal.
No. I mean,
it is difficult.
So when I was separating, and I was talking to this friend, and he said, well, why don't you? He said, you really sure you want to separate? And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, are you sure you want to separate? Do you want to join the millions of divorced single mothers in their 50s?
See?
And I was just like, what? It never even crossed my mind. He said, yeah, there are millions of you out there. Like we're some kind of sort of contaminated batch. Or like your life's over.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And it was a bit of a sort of slap in the face.
Yeah. There was recently I had shut a bank account, and I was filling the form. So it said single, married, widowed, divorced. I said, what is this category? And I told the form, and I said, you please change. It has nothing to do with you.
Or father's name. As my father's dead, and he's never been to India. Why do you need my father's name?
Yeah, what for?
Yeah, what the fuck? And they've done something on the UK marriage license now.
Okay.
That you can put your father or your mother's name.
Oh, okay.
But that was a big thing.
And now They've done it now.
Well, I think they probably did about 15 years ago. And I find this whole thing about who your father is, who my father is totally irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless it's because a lot of people here have the same name.
Yeah.
And then maybe they need to know who your father was just to clarify that it was you. That's the only reason I can imagine
Yeah.
why you need to know who my father was.
People have defined normalcy. They've said this is normal, and anything that doesn't succumb to these conditions is not normal. So if you have a father who is earning money more than your mother, then you come from a normal family. But if you have had a mother who was earning more than your father, or you had separated or divorced parents, there's something wrong.
Yeah. Well, so I was just getting this car loan sorted out, and I'm not divorced, so I'm still married. And I find myself putting my husband's name on the form just to shut the bank up. And then something else happened. Oh yeah, my son rides, and there's a really nice riding club, which is military.
Okay.
So they don't take foreigners.
Oh.
So I said, well, he's got OCI.
Okay.
And then the lady on the phone, who was very nice, we texted each other, said, oh, is your husband Indian? And I thought, oh God, I really can't go into this. So I said, no, but his father was, which is why we have OCI. And I was thinking, Jesus Christ, I want my son to go to a riding school. It's like, what's the big deal, whether I'm married or not married, or
this is
whatever it is? It's like
everything is designed, to
box you in.
And your decisions have to, if you decide otherwise, your existence itself becomes a fight.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So I work with this woman who's divorced. She lives in Gurgaon. She is so tough because she's had to be. She's got 2 kids. Right. She's got her own business. Oh, super successful, super bright woman, really cool woman. But God, is she tough.
Why do you think she's single?
But even she's having problems with her CA. And I'm looking at her thinking, you've got your own business with a turnover of crores and crores and crores. You're sending your daughter off to university in Spain. You're really cool. And then your CA is being difficult with you because why? I have no idea why. I wouldn't dare mess around with her.
I didn't hire a male CA.
Yeah.
For this reason.
Yeah.
Because I would have to hear that I have so many years of experience.
Yeah.
Whereas I was in wealth management.
Yeah.
Probably seen a lot of money handling.
Yes.
At a much younger age.
Yes.
Maybe I'm a bit sharper,
Yeah.
I have experience.
Yeah.
So you listen to me.
Yeah.
Little girl.
Yes. Oh, very much. Pat.
Pat.
Anyway, I have nothing but respect for women here who run their own businesses.
Yes, we've podcasted with mostly women founders. They are fighters. They're all like, the sword is just, anytime somebody says something, you just you have to, because it's self-defense.
Yeah.
It almost comes down to that.
Yeah.
It starts with somebody walks in a room, and because you're a girl, they set the tone. Oh, you're so cute. Like, dude, it's unprofessional. Keep your mouth shut. I'm here to work.
I don't think I could work in an office environment anymore, because I've worked for myself for so long that I couldn't deal with the politics of it.
So this is not just office. This is, I was pitching to an investor.
No.
And after a 15-minute non-stop monologue about my business, because I was, stressed that the time would run out, and what if he leaves, and what if he's not interested. So I was consistently talking.
Yeah.
After that entire rut, He says nice tattoo.
Did you just walk out?
I did.
Oh. Yeah. That's nuts.
It's reality. It doesn't stop. It's not about the office or outside office, or it's just the environment.
So he felt he could say that to you.
Yes, it's your surrounding, and either you learn how to deal with it, woman up.
Yeah, it's interesting because working with gay men, you never have that problem. It's always actually quite easy because there's no sexual tension at all.
Yeah.
There's no inappropriate remarks. If you do, it's a joke, or you can have a laugh with them. And I love working with gay men. It's so much easier because it's just really simple. And they just get on with it.
Please tell me some stories about the fashion.
So many crazy stories of the way people react. My sister wrote a book. She writes these books, the Babylon series. There's Hotel Babylon. And then she wrote Fashion Babylon.
Okay.
Which was set in the fashion industry, obviously. And what she'd do is she'd go around and she would talk to experts within an industry. She'd have one mole and they'd introduce her to all the industry contacts.
Yeah.
And they would tell her the most outrageous stories. And she weaves it all into a book. So the shops never know whether to put it as fiction or non-fiction. Because all the stories in there are true, but they're all so outrageous that you're just thinking, no, that can't be right. Anyway, she wrote Fashion Babylon, and there was one fashion stylist who didn't come out of it particularly well.
Yeah.
And my ex-assistant, this very nice gay boy, Josh, was now working for her agency. And because my surname's Edwards-Jones, it's quite unusual. Everybody knew that Imogen was my sister. So this stylist got completely fixated that Josh was the mole, to the point where she'd been ringing him up saying, I know it was you. And poor Josh was completely innocent. He'd never met my sister at all. It was so funny.
Wow.
And the whole of the industry got completely paranoid about who the mole is. And they're all slightly pleased to be included because it made them important. And then, of course, I got a whole lot of hassle.
Yeah.
No, it was not me. I did not talk to my sister. I said, I did not talk to anybody for the book. I mean, I might have told her a few stories, and I gave her a few people to talk to. But I certainly didn't tell her the most outrageous stuff that was in the book. And it was just this sort of group paranoia, which was really funny, that went on for a good 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Poor Josh almost got fired.
Oh, my God.
Because the stylist was so convinced it was him.
Wow.
And I think it's only because his boss was this very, very tough woman. There were a few really, really tough women who now must be in their mid-60s, maybe early 60s, who were the first big photographers' agents in London as it became a business.
Okay.
And they're as hard as nails. I worked for one of them.
Okay.
When I first started as a photographer's agent. And they created this whole industry out of nothing. It never existed until the late 80s. That's when they started having photographers' agents. And it was all women, which is why when you were talking to me earlier about asking me if I'd ever felt it was a disadvantage to be a woman, I've never had it. My first job was at Chanel. Most of the staff there were women. I mean, it was owned by men, but most of the management there were women. And I've always worked in that kind of environment. So when I do come up against macho men, I think they're quite funny. Especially I had one shoot with a really, really famous photographer who's in his 80s, and his agent, who's lovely, but a real bloke. and their advertising executive, who was like some dinosaur from the 80s
Okay.
with their attitude to women.
Oh.
And I was just like, what are you talking about? What are you guys on? And you just have to tease them and say, you're just being so old-fashioned and so silly. Keep up.
Have you seen Mad Men?
Yes.
You know, the advertising agency.
Yes.
Advertising agencies of New York in the 1960s.
Yes. Yeah. No, but they were a bit like that. But the 70s as well. I shared an office in Soho with this friend's father who was a big advertising creative in the 70s. And Terry never really got over it. So, and Terry would say the most outrageous things, and I'd just laugh at him and say, oh, for God's sakes, shut up, you stupid old man. So you can sort of, I think humour is a very good way of putting these people down. But
Yeah.
but I've never been caught in a lift with a groper or anything like that.
Okay.
I've never been physically
Right.
intimidated
Right.
or forced into doing anything
Yeah.
that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
And you hear horror stories about it. But what was interesting with the Me Too movement
Yeah.
was a lot of us knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of the time, it was gay photographers preying on younger men.
Right.
So I worked with a photographer he was assisting a very famous gay photographer. And this photographer who I represented was incredibly good looking. And he was a young posh boy,
Okay.
exactly what this photographer liked.
Okay.
And he was completely traumatized
Oh.
by what happened to him. But all of us were sort of like, yeah, well, just deal with it.
Right.
So I think Me Too is probably a very good thing, actually, because
Yeah.
you shouldn't have to deal with it.
No,
You shouldn't have to go to work feeling scared.
I can't agree with you more. And this again, it could be any gender, preying upon any
Yeah,
any gender, but this is not about sexuality. This is about having a sexual prowess and showing your power in a
it's about power.
yeah. It's about power, and it's about, oh, I'm more famous, so I have the right to do whatever I want. And I was in Bombay recently for a meeting, and there was this actor, and I was sitting with a friend, and she's a fan,
Mm.
and she just said, I want to go and say hi to him. And I said, yeah, you should take a picture,
Yeah.
because it's serendipitous that he's at the same place where we were sitting and chatting. And she goes up to him, and he is like, I want to take you out for a drive late in the night, and give me your number. And he hugged her in a way showing that, like, I'm the boss, like. And she came back trembling, and I and she's asking me what just happened. And I said, listen, this guy is married and he's just had a kid, so it's about power. It's and people do it. I mean, it could be man, woman, it could be anything. But my point is, a lot of women don't even know. They don't.
She probably felt guilty because she'd gone over to him.
So
So she was asking for it.
You're so right.
But that's what women do. They always try and sort of explain bad behaviour by making it their fault, their own fault.
Yeah.
And you've got to be able to draw a line and say, no, what he did was inappropriate and I didn't deserve that and it's wrong.
I was flabbergasted at her reaction.
I bet.
And I think the onus lies on women like us. I'm sure there are millions of us also who are empowered in some way, to some extent, to kind of help raise awareness around these kind of things. Because I don't think, I really feel a lot of women just don't know.
No.
Because they are not taught. These things are not practiced. Like, had that been me in her place, and that actor told her that don't share this with anyone. don't talk about this with anyone. Don't talk about this with anyone.
Did she give him her number?
She did, because she didn't, she was doubting herself. And I
That's crazy.
it's crazy. It's crazy. And
Did he phone her?
no, he told her to call him. So that maybe he could tell later that
Oh, she was chasing me.
she was chasing me. I'm the star.
Christ.
And he's just had a baby. And she didn't know that. She said, "Why does he want to go on a drive with me? What do you think?" I said,
Oh, for goodness sakes.
"I mean,
How old is your friend?
in her late 20s."
Wow.
And that man was probably around my age, 35.
Right. Yeah, it's nuts. It's completely nuts.
But people, that's what I'm saying. The problem is awareness. Like, had I been in that position, I would have lectured him. I would have told him, "Come, I'll make you sit and I'll make you understand what you're doing. So that you never..."
Would you? I would have just walked away.
No, I would.
Really?
I would. I've really...
Because I don't know if they'd listen. They'd just say you're being a Karen.
I think I would be saving a lot of women that experience.
I don't know. Because
He
I
would
think
be scared.
he might be scared.
Yeah.
But I think there's so much of an ego. There's so many of these people that also I find people rewrite history. And they're sort of, it's like Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and the Queen saying there are different versions, or she said something wonderfully ambiguous
Okay.
about people have different versions of the truth.
Oh.
Basically saying this isn't what happened at all, but if that's the way he remembers it, that's the way he remembers it. Because she was put in an impossible situation with all of that.
Right.
But it was a wonderful, very ambiguous way of saying that we all see things differently.
Yes.
And they're always going on here, Meghan Markle always going on about their own truth, speak your own truth.
Yes.
Which is, in that case, fiction. But, and I think we all have a different version of events. So he would have seen, oh, pretty girl, fan, of course she's going to want to have sex with me in the back of my car. And I'll be doing her a favour.
That is so true.
I mean, you're surrounded by people who do want to have sex with you because you're famous. And because they think it might help their career.
Yeah. But what gives someone a right to make someone feel uncomfortable?
It's one person, maybe 9 out of 10 women would have given him a number and gone in the car with him. So he's just taking his chances. It's like when we were talking about Taylor Swift earlier.
And what about his wife?
I don't know. I mean, who knows what kind of marriage these people have. That's what's so weird. A lot of those Bollywood marriages are slightly sort of fabricated anyway,
Really?
aren't they?
I don't know.
I think they are.
They are?
I mean, the tragic one is Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Seeing two people who had so much but tear each other apart so publicly. And you're just looking at it. I think that's why everyone was so mesmerised by the whole thing, because it was so bad.
There's this saying in India that बहती गंगा में अपनी बाल्टी तुम भी डुबो लो. मतलब, what it means is that there was a river of publicity flowing with that case. It was so it became so famous. These two big stars and fighting openly, and Depp had requested the judge that journalists be allowed, cameras be allowed in the courtroom, which was a very new thing. All these bloggers, for their 2 minutes of fame, it was like that river of fame was flowing, and these bloggers just go and dip their buckets in that river of fame, and they get their 1 million, 2 million, 500,000 views.
No, it was. But what was so? I mean, I don't know, the ins and outs of it at all. I don't know who did
I
what
think
to
it was an
who.
abusive relationship
Yeah, but I think on both sides.
on both sides.
Yeah.
100%.
It was a very toxic relationship,
Yeah.
and they were both wrong.
Yeah.
But because she was the starlet,
Yeah.
and I think the general consensus was that she had used her relationship with him to further her own career.
But my question again is, what is wrong with that? Why judge the character of the girl?
No, but then
He is also
he's
using.
also a bit of a sort of Leonardo DiCaprio character. Why? He's 60?
Yeah. Yeah.
And how old's she?
She was 15 years younger to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like silly middle-aged man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, this is never going to work. The only marriage that's worked for is Catherine Zeta-Jones and Michael Douglas.
Yeah, and I think there's Amal Clooney as
Yes.
well. I find that it gives a very dignified.
Yeah, but she's like a serious.
Yeah.
She's a grown-up.
Yeah.
I mean, she might look like a model, but she's super bright.
Yeah.
And got a super
Yeah.
important job.
Yeah.
And I think he really respects his wife. That's what's so
shows,
nice,
yeah.
is that he's got so much respect for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she sort of seems to have seamlessly gone into this whole showbiz
Yeah.
insanity
Yeah.
and handled it beautifully.
Yeah. Hats off to her.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know how they met or anything like that, but I think she's super cool.
Yeah.
She could eat.
Yeah.
But it's a really nice, it looks like a really sort of marriage of equals.
Yeah.
Which is quite rare.
Which is so rare.
Tom Hanks and his wife, Rita, what's her surname?
Haywood.
No. Tom Hanks' wife, what's she called?
Hanks.
They seem like, she's a film producer and director and screenwriter. And they're sort of grown-ups. But you don't see many of those.
You see in India there's so many of these actors, Farhan Akhtar, Hrithik Roshan. They have, their second wives are 12, 14 years younger to them.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, it's your personal choice. But there's Priyanka Chopra Jones, and she chooses this guy who's 9, 10 years younger to her, and
well done her.
But she got a lot of backlash.
Did she?
Yeah. From the Indian media, for sure. Like, she was judged and she was...
It's like Madonna. Mick Jagger springs around like a teenager, aged 80 almost.
Yeah.
And then everyone takes the piss out of Madonna.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah.
There must be some kind of happy medium, I think. But if that's what she wants to do, good luck to her.
Yeah.
If she wants to have a boyfriend who's 40 years younger than her, good luck to her.
How does it...
Doesn't affect
so
anyone
personal,
else. Yeah.
Again, it's so personal. You're divorced or not, it's so personal.
But it does. I think social media these days, it's just vicious. It really is vicious.
With the Depp and Amber case, I feel it does show the...
Well, I think they brought it on themselves, that lot. I mean, really, did you need to air that much dirty laundry in public?
I mean, it was Depp's decision.
He knew he'd come out on top. Well, he lost in London.
Oh.
He sued her for defamation in London, and then he lost the case.
Okay.
So they were basically in the court in London said, yes, you're a wife beater.
Yes.
So that didn't go well for him, and then he won in America. But
see, that says a lot.
It
says a lot about the society in general. I mean, the judge he's coming from that very society, so you can't really you can pull a person out of that society, but I think it's very few people are able to do the unconditioning of everything they've seen.
There's that brilliant case in Chennai where the husband sued his wife, saying, I think they'd separated, and he wanted her to give back all the jewellery he'd given her. And the judge said, no, she's earned it. and that she's worked for you, she's run your house and raised your kids for years and years and years, and you haven't, she's never had a salary.
Right.
So this is her salary. Which was a landmark case.
Wow.
That was earlier this year. I think it was in Chennai. Did you read about it?
No.
It was really interesting, and it was suddenly like, yeah, women's work is something that should be valued.
Yeah.
Because all of us desperately struggling to be homemakers. I hate that expression.
Yeah.
Don't get paid for it.
Right.
But suddenly we're all supposed to be able to do absolutely everything.
Yeah.
All in one go. Which men don't have. They don't have that pressure.
They don't have that pressure. And I think the minimum men can do is understand that pressure. I feel a lot of men fail to do that.
But then I think a lot of the times women are their own worst enemy. Either your mother-in-law or your mother, or
That is true.
just a total lack of understanding of how hard it is. Or they think, oh, well, I've done it, so you've got to do it. And you don't sort of think, well, were you happy doing it? And don't you want me to be happy with my life and my decisions?
Yeah.
And they don't, and they're just like, well, no, that's just the way it's done.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it that way, then you will be judged and found wanting by our neighbours and our friends and society in general.
Right. Yeah.
But I think one of the advantages in Europe, I mean, it is a massive disadvantage, but because family is important, but it's not hierarchical like it is here.
Right.
You don't have that kind of pressure. So I'm one of 3 kids. 2 of us are divorced. It's not a big deal. My mother's one of 3 daughters. All 3 are divorced. Nobody sort of thinks about it. Nobody's sort of thinking, oh gosh, what are my neighbours going to think about that?
Everyone in my family only thinks about the fact that I'm divorced.
Really?
Yes. I went for a recent death ceremony of somebody close, and a distant relative asked me, this was her first question, so, enjoying life?
What are you supposed to say? Yeah, that's great. I'm having loads of sex with loads of other people's husbands, and I'm having a fabulous time. I mean, what are you supposed to say to that? Because that's what she wants to know, isn't it?
Probably jealous. I don't know.
Well, it's just like, what am I supposed to say? Yes, my life is exactly the same as yours, thank you very much. I just don't have another kid to deal with. It's like, that's what she means, isn't it?
That's the reality.
Yeah. That's what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Really. No, whereas in my side of it, it's like, have you met anyone? No. Are you? No. Dating apps.
Oh.
Am I going to go on a dating app? No.
No.
No, I'm not.
Neither am I.
Because they terrify me.
Yeah.
I met this guy the other day at a party who was a widow. And I don't know him at all. He told me about his wife's death, which was pretty horrendous. And he then started telling me how he was on this dating app. And he was seeing this woman who was divorced and had a kid. And I said, well, how do you feel about it? He said, well, personally, I don't think that he was ready to try and have a relationship with anybody, because from what he was saying, he was still traumatized by his wife's death. And then he was saying, well, I'm sure she's seeing other people. And I said, well, have you asked her? Oh, no, I can't. I said, well, why not? And it's just like these dating apps force you into this intimacy, this false intimacy, so quickly.
Yeah.
Because you're basing your whole relationship on, oh yeah, well, we're compatible.
Yeah.
So let's go to bed together.
Yeah.
And then you realise you don't actually know that other person at all. You know what star sign they are,
Yeah.
how
their
old they
hobbies
are,
are.
what
Yeah.
their hobbies are.
Yeah.
I think I don't know what you say on a dating app, but the whole thing just seems so strange.
Yeah.
Because I'm of that generation that you meet somebody through friends, or so you automatically have some kind of common ground, or you meet somebody at work.
Yeah.
Not that I've ever done that, but there's always a sort of link. It's not some completely random stranger. Oh yeah, and we both like kayaking, so therefore we're going to fall in love. It's like, the hell is that? Oh, I think you look quite good looking. It's this sort of superficial intimacy that is just like nuts.
Yeah. There was once I was there on these dating apps, and I take time to meet people.
Yeah.
In how much time do you actually take to make a friend? You take time. One takes time to trust.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't, just because we're chatting doesn't mean I just go and physically meet someone. It takes time. You have to know someone.
I had a British friend here who was on Tinder, I think, and he just had these random hookups night after night after night. And I was thinking, God, don't you sort of feel a bit kind of, I don't know, jaded
Yeah.
by the end of it? How do you know?
Yeah.
It's like having one of those buffets in the 5-star hotel
Yeah.
when you're always thinking, oh, that looks nice. Oh, but that looks nicer.
Yeah.
Oh, what's down there?
Yeah. Well, it really saddens me, but our amazing conversation,
It will continue
it will continue.
off camera.
Yes.
That's when it gets really interesting.
Don't say that. I think, but on camera, we've had a really.
We've covered quite a lot.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to be in India.
Yes.
And I'm very happy to have met you.
Yes.
Completely by chance. And you.
Yes.
And I'm still not going on dating apps.
Yes. Cheers to saying no to dating apps.
Yeah. Just say no.
Just say no. But I'm so grateful. Thank you for doing this.
It's fun.
And before we end the podcast, I do want to say, please go check out Meme Tree Productions. I think you've done some fantastic work.
Thank you.
I did not get to focus on it as much as I wanted to.
Oh, well, I'll have to come back.
But of course, there's season 2 for that. And there's some fantastic work out there.
Thank you.
And yeah, it's beautifully shot, well crafted. It's so, I think every campaign, I didn't feel like pausing the content.
Oh, thank you.
It hits you somewhere, and that
Oh, good.
totally goes to the producer and
Thank you.
director. Kudos to you for being 30 years in production,
Mm.
2 women in production.
Mm.
Kudos to you for being a wonderful mother. I've seen you with your kids.
Oh.
Kudos to you for having a man to drive you around. I can't forget that statement when I first met you. Oh, I'm not driving. I have a guy to drive me around.
I've forgotten I said that, yeah.
Oh, yes.
I know. Anyway, I've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for having me.
Pleasure.
And
Pleasure's all ours.
I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of them as well. The rest
Yes.
of your cast.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay.